Welcome to How to Recognize a Fraudulent Identification. This is session 121. My name is Glen Garrity. I worked for the city of Newport Beach for 21 years. I was a burglary detective. Worked a lot of identity theft type crimes. Mortgage fraud. Common mortgage fraud schemes include fictitious stolen identities on the loan applications, equity skimming, all that type of things. All right. House stealing. Anybody ever heard that term before? House stealing. The second step of house stealing is take over somebody's identity by using fake IDs. All right. So what I want to do is show you how to recognize a fake ID. All right. Guess what? There are 240 IDs in the United States right now. All right. I'm not going over 240 IDs. All right. But the great thing is a lot of states have common features that they all use. And that's what I want to show you, some of the common features. So no matter what state you're in, you know what you can be looking for in these common features. And then they all do their own little twist on those common features. So if I were to come to you and I could show you this is my ID, all right, this would be me. But very quickly with some Photoshop, I could be Jay. Or I could be from Arizona. Or I can be Brian from the state of North Carolina. Or I can be Tyson from Utah. I have no doubt that about 90% of you probably never even seen a Utah driver's license, have you? What do you know what one looked like, right? That's what the bad guys count on. You have no idea what you're looking at. But I couldn't be Jay because Jay is 6 foot, 155 pounds. I haven't been that height and weight since 8th grade, all right? So right away, that should have got your antennas up. Is this the same person? Brian from North Carolina, because I don't know if you can see it very well, but what's that on the top of my head right there? The state seal of California. What the heck is that doing on North Carolina? All right. The other thing is, it says Brian Hamilton. We got Brian and we have H-A-M, and the rest of the name's cut off because when I had to photocopy it, I had to cover up his name. I didn't have the equipment to put it underneath his name. All right. Same thing. That's why a lot of the states, when they do the state seal, they put it half on the picture, half on the card. So when people crop out that picture, they're taking half the state seal with them. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Why can't I be Tyson from Utah? Well, that's a miner's license. I'm not a miner. That's their 2009 format. That's what their license used to look back in 2009. Again, if you're not from Utah, you wouldn't know that. Why can't I be Kevin from Arizona? Well, the Arizona driver's license starts with one or two letters, B boy or D dog. This one starts with an R and its number. That's how you can tell right away it's fake. Starts with the wrong identification number, all right? So we're going to talk about fraudulent IDs. Again, like I said earlier, a lot of states will have at least two, one fading in, one fading out, a new one coming in, new one coming out, just like we did here in California recently, all right? But they all share common security features. And if I can just give you a base of what we're looking for, hopefully you can try and catch some of these real bad ones because they're getting real good now that I can't even tell, all right? The technology is catching up with the computers out there and the printers that they're able to duplicate a lot of stuff and you can't even tell unless you're a cop. And using it, and then I have to go into DMV to do it, to check out the number, okay, which we don't have access to, obviously, all right? There's three types of fraud I want to talk about. Invalid format, okay? These are licenses completely different, but they look valid, or they might look official-like, all right? So like this is a Rhode Island driver's license. If you're not from Rhode Island, you would know it, but this is an old format back in 2009, just like that Utah one. If you're not from those states, you wouldn't know this is an older format. But he could actually make this one up and put an expiration date that's good on it, and you probably wouldn't know that about Rhode Island. Altered licenses. This is really take an actual license. It's going to have all the security features, but now they might change some information on it. So for example, here's a Nebraska driver's license. This lady up here, Nebraska driver's license, their number will either start with one of 6 letters. J is not one of them. Okay? So she changed it to J. Why would you change your driver's license number? What do they want from you when you write a check? They want your driver's license number. They're going to write that on the back, so if that check bounces, they know how to get a hold of you, right? They ain't going to find her with that J. Doesn't exist. In the bottom over here, you can see how they changed in 1994 to a 1991. If you didn't have a microscope, you wouldn't be able to see that. Let's talk about a borrowed license. This is happening a lot too, where people are using other people's licenses because on the picture they look like each other. All right? So for example, is this the same person? It actually is. It's Steve Carroll back in college. All right? Again, because the license doesn't expire for what, 30 years, 40 years, he can have a difference in that much of his picture, couldn't he? For a Identification to be a bona fide ID per California. It's got to have these 6 requirements. Be issued by a government agency, have their name, your date of birth, a physical description, a photograph, and be currently valid. Why should you not accept an expired ID? But people are actually using other people's IDs. So let's say one guy, hey, I look like you. Can I have your fake ID or not your fake ID, but you got your new ID. Can I have your old one when you're done with it? Because I can use it. Now I'm 21. Because we look alike, okay? That's what they might be doing, all right? Examples, okay, so you want to take the government ID. Unacceptable forms of ID, pretty easy. Why can't a birth certificate be an ID? That's issued by a government agency, isn't it? No photograph. What's the physical description on your birth certificate? 9 pounds, 6 ounces? What, you still look like that too? No, okay. How about the Social Security card? That's a government agency. No picture, no physical description. It might as well be a business card. It's the same thing. Military IDs and passports, okay? Effective January in 2010, you can accept the passport even though it doesn't have a physical description in it, okay? If it's in a foreign language, hopefully you can read that foreign language, all right? Another thing I want you to be aware of is this section code right here, 18 USC 701. You cannot photocopy a military ID or photocopy a military ID for any reason, okay? Only the police and healthcare are exempt from that. So I don't care if you're doing it for, you're a good person, bad person, if they find out you're doing it, you're in violation of that code, so you don't have to be doing that. All right. So here in California, back in 2006, this is what our driver's license used to look like. Now in 2015-16, this one's now being faded out, this one's now gone, you shouldn't see this one anymore, you shouldn't see a valid one in that format. This is what our driver's license looks like today, all right? Every state's doing this. They have some fading out, some fading in, all right? It's hard to keep up with them all. That's why we have 240 of them in the United States, all right? But a lot more information on these, a lot more security features. Even the IDs for minors are different. A lot of the states are going to the vertical format now. If you see a vertical one, that means you got a minor there, okay? The only states not doing this are Minnesota, Oregon, and Tennessee are not vertical. Everybody else has gone to vertical format on that. This is taught by ABC, Alcohol and Beverage Control here in California. It's called FLAG. It's an acronym for steps that you could do how to check for fake ID. Feel, look, ask, or give back to the police. So the very first step is we're going to feel, all right? You are not looking at somebody's ID through a wallet. They will take that out of the wallet for you because you have to feel it. So don't be looking through wallets at them, okay? So let's go through feel. On the new California driver's licenses, they've got some security features you feel. If you feel right here, you'll see their date of birth is raised up like Braille. You can feel that raised up, all right? Their signature is raised up. You feel that. The date of birth over there is raised up. It's a little rough, okay? If you look at it real close, it looks like this. All right? This doesn't stop the bad guys. What the bad guys do, if they know that you know about something like that, what those are going to do is they're just going to put glue in that area. So now you're feeling something rough there, but if you look at it real close, you see it's not matching up to a signature. But again, you're feeling something, all right? So if you don't feel something, you got to fake. If you do feel something, doesn't necessarily mean you have a good card, right? It's got to be aware of. When they make these fake cards, they're going to make the front and back on one sheet. Then they cut them out, put them together with glue, and that's how they make their cards. Problem with that is that a lot of times these cards will separate. If you get a card that's separating, you got a fake card. Okay? California cards, everybody else state cards, they're not going to separate. They're solid cards. But if they're not using their glue right, you get separation like that, be wary. So, we talk about feel on all driver's licenses. So, if I take my picture and put it on somebody else's picture, it's not going to be a flat surface anymore, is it? So, what you should feel, if you feel an edge to the picture, if you feel an edge to any picture, you might have a fake. All right? You're not going to feel any edge on any state ID that I'm aware of. All right? But that's what happens when you put the picture on top of something else. It's going to create an edge and then laminate it. So if you feel an edge of that picture, somebody falsified that ID probably. Okay? Remember I told you how they put the state thing halfway on the picture, halfway on the card, right? So again, let's look at it closer. Look what happens when I Photoshop Jay's here and I put my picture on his. Now you can see how the state seal doesn't line up anymore because it's not in the same spot. All right? So if you see a disjointed state seal, you got a fake ID. They're not just joining state IDs. All right? but that's what happens. That's why they do that. So it doesn't match up perfectly. Also, if you take a look real close at the picture here, the ghost picture, I had to cut my picture in half here because if I brought it all the way down, I would cover up the hair in the black. You wouldn't be able to see that. So if you look real close at the picture, you can see how a different color right here because that had to happen. So that's a close-up of what that would look like. If I kept the picture intact and put it all the way over, I can't do that. I had to cut the picture so it fit. The magnetic strip on the back should be at a certain height, okay? Because all the card readers are a certain height. So they can't be too high, too low. But the bad guy, he knows you ain't gonna be swiping his card. He doesn't care. All you can have back there is just a black line anyway. It's a painted black line. He could probably buy a card with a magnetic strip on the back, but that costs money. Why put out money when he can make a black line there? Because you're not gonna be swiping it, all right? But he's gotta put it at the right height, all right? For California, these are the two basic heights where it should be. That one over there is way too low. Some are way too high. If you're not sure what it should be and you got the same state card, you can look at yours. L is for look. 48 states have a UV feature. Okay, that's the black light feature they were talking about with TSA. When you go to TSA and you fly in a plane, they're going to take your ID and they're going to take your ticket and they're going to put their ID in that little black box. You know what they're looking for is that UV feature. Okay, so 48 states are doing that. Tennessee sometimes has a UV feature. I don't understand that, but it's not always good with Tennessee. All right, the UV feature can change from state to state. Remember I told you, all states are using it, but everybody has their own little twist on it, own little different picture on it. Okay. So how do you check for the UV feature? Using a tool something like this, okay? It's called the Fraud Fighter. It's got UV tubes up here, black lights. So when you put them inside the box, turn the light on, you'll see the feature pop out. So we got the two ideas. One on the right's Arizona, one on the left is California. Here's two California IDs, okay? On the top is the real one, on the fake is the bottom one, okay? They both look alike, but the problem with the UV feature, it's very difficult to work with UV ink, so sometimes the bad guys don't have the right quality, all right? But if they know you don't have no idea what the quality is, they really don't care either. They're just assuming as long as you see something, you're good with it. You know what you're looking for. But if you can see, this is just a machine that laid these things out. So on this old California ID, you get a minimum of 2.5 to 3 bears. But the bears should be yellow on green grass inside a pink flag, okay? On the bottom here, what do we get? Underexposed, overexposed, still got the bear, all right? So they can copy it, but it's different quality, and that's what you got to be aware of, okay? It's going to change for different states. This is what the new California driver's license does. It's got a third picture. You got your main photo, you got your ghost photo, now the UV feature brings up a third photo of you, plus it also shows your date of birth here. Other states, let's look at Arizona. Here's two Arizona driver's licenses. They both look alike. Both got the picture of the Grand Canyon. We got Sam and we got Nicole. Let's put them under the black light now. Well, Sam shows a state seal. Nicole has nothing, all right? So I know Nicole is fake. Sam's got the state seal, but the quality is not the greatest. But what did I tell you about the California or Arizona driver's license? What about the number? B-boy or D-dog, right? He's an S. He's fake. So they're both fake. To Hawaii. Both looking alike a little bit, but they got different fonts, a little bit different coloring. One has the state seal, state seal, state seal. Let's put them under the black light. Well, on the back, I get the Hawaiian state flag on the back. On the bottom, I get the state seal all over the front of that one. All right. Again, look at the quality. It's kind of shady quality here. This one up here is real. This one's the fake. But how do you know what to look for in the UV features? All right. That's where the book comes in handy here. This book comes out every February. It's got every state inside of it. And on the UV pictures, it'll show you what the UV picture should look like. Not every state is in here. Not every state would participate in this. But if there's a UV feature on the front and back, it'll just show you what the front should be. Okay? Everybody has UV. Everybody has their own little twist on it. Okay? On the new California driver's licenses, we've got 2 barcodes. The DOB is raised, a signature, computer number, microprinting. I'll talk all about that. But there's a lot more information on the back of the cards as well. Okay? So on this bottom up here, their driver's license number, that's just not a bunch of random numbers, but their driver's license number is in there. Okay? We've got 2 different barcodes. We got another signature on the back. This is raised up. You should feel that being raised up as well too. Okay? Some of the states are going to a perforation look, perforated, okay? If you were to take your driver's license or this new California driver's license and hold it up to a light, you'll see the California bear through these laser pinholes, okay? There are other states that are doing that as well, but if you look real close, the bad guys are trying to copy that too, all right? So here on the reel, here's a fake one over here where a guy took a needle and thread and tried to poke the bear in it, all right? You can see how these holes are all the same size, evenly spaced, but if you look real closely at the holes in this one, different size holes, not same spaced. Okay? This laser machine costs a lot of money to do something like that, okay? Also, if you look real close, you should not be able to see the bear, all right? These three are fake. You can see the outline of the bear because the holes are too big, but here's a real one. I can't see the bear. So if you can see that bear from a distance, you might have a fake. Other states doing this, Arizona, Missouri, Michigan, New Mexico, New York, Texas, Vermont, Nevada, Washington have some type of perforation image too. Arizona has their state outline, Missouri has a big MO, Michigan has an MICH. Okay, so that's a real quick check. Just boom, if I know it's one of those states, do I have it? Just check it up in the light, okay? You don't have a lot of time. We can't do a lot of time when we're checking these things out, all right? But eventually, if you know what you're looking for, there's quick things, like on the California. Do I feel the bumps? Is it raised up? Do I have the bear? Boom, I got a bear. Do I have a UV light? Take a little flashlight, boom, I got a UV picture. I mean, like I said, they're getting so good, they might pass some of those if you don't look real quick. But sometimes you get the hair on the back of your neck, something feels strange about something, go with that instinct sometimes, all right? L is for look in our flag. This is the tough one. This is the triangle recognition. There's certain features of your face that won't change over time. And it's basically in this triangle area here. You can change your hair color, you can change eye colors, you can change a lot of things, but facially, those areas right in there will not change dramatically. So let's talk about my two daughters here. They're 18 months apart, but they're sharing the same gym ID. That's okay with me because I want to pay for 2 gym fees every month here, all right? But that's what they're doing. But they're 18 months apart and they look alike, they can get away with that. Facial features we're talking about, the ears, the size, the shape, the lobes, the positioning of the eyes, the shape, their eyelids, the mouth, the width, the height, the distance from the nose or chin, your nose, shape, length, the jawline, neck length, Adam's apple, all those things right in that area right there, all right? So for example, let's say the guy on the left is the one that comes walking in your office or you're at his home, and that's the picture on his ID. Is this the same guy? Anybody say no? Okay. Look at those ears. See the ears very clearly over there, right? Down by the mouth. They got nothing over here, right? People aren't getting their ears lowered. All right, that's not one thing that's happening here. All right, we don't lower our ears. All right. Can't go by the hair. Hair can change, all right? Can't go by the goatee. Can't match that. Goatees can be there, all right? But those ears right there, it's not the same guy. All right? How about this young lady? Is this the same person? That is the same girl, all right? Now, see, this is the tough one, all right? Can't be taking 5-10 minutes going, hey, do this. Okay, look over here, all right? Can't be doing that, right? We got to get to our next notary job here. We don't have that much time. This is the tough part. And this is where it falls upon you. You try and do the best job you can. That's all I'm telling you can do, all right? Hopefully we can catch the real bad ones out there, though, all right? How about this lady? Same lady? Is that a resounding yes?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
All right? All right, we got the 3 chins. That's hard to go by. People can lose weight, right? Eyebrows, they can be tweezed. It's hard, but it was the same person. How about this one? This is a little tougher. Same guy? Gotta like the chin, dimple in the chin? Ears look in the same spot? Even the eyebrow, the discoloration from here, over there, a little discoloration over there, all right? Now you're supposed to go by colors, can they change? But this is a little tougher, but yeah, that's the same guy. Now I'm gonna make it real easy on you, okay? Here's a sex symbol and a famous movie star. Oh, that is just mean laughing that loud. All right? All right? I think it's pretty close. I get pulled over all the time. Hey, you Magic Mike? I'll go, yes, I am. All right? All right. So why do I show you that? Well, believe it or not, look at this. Alexis right here. Alexis made some fraudulent accounts and charged about $20,000. She stole items from Nordstrom and to pay bills, and she provided a fake Florida driver's license. What's unique about this is that her picture was Keira Knightley. Now really, do we need a triangle of recognition to tell the difference between these two people? That's people not even paying attention, right? Give me your license. I don't know if they even checked the license, but that's the license she provided, all right? They weren't even looking. Strange. All right. Acceptable identifications. There are some state IDs with no picture. Now what are you going to do? All right. This is what the state issued. 2 states, Tennessee, Vermont, Kentucky, and Missouri have IDs without pictures. Now what are you going to do? It's like a business card, isn't it? But that's what the state provided them. And this is going on. I think Indiana's going to be coming up here too. As well, and they're doing it for the Amish. The Amish don't want their pictures taken, all right? But some of these states have told these people, hey, if you don't have your picture on it, we can't guarantee you people are going to accept this ID, and they shouldn't have to accept this ID without a picture, all right? So they gave you a little way out there. But be ready for that. Can you ask for another ID, or if you want to see another ID? Certainly, I think so, okay? But that is out there to be aware of. L is for look, all right? Height and weight, is it a reasonable match for that person, all right? People can gain weight, lose weight, but not getting shorter. They ain't going down, all right? So do they look their age, which is a little bit tougher in some of the states like California. People are always trying to look good, get in shape, and look better, all right? Having the operations, plastic surgeries, look younger, all right? L is for look. Now that we're taking a little more time on the card, is the person who gave you the card, are they getting a little nervous? What's taking so long here? Why are we taking a little bit longer looking at this card, all right? Beware of that. Is the signature computerized and smaller? Is the text clear and sharp, not blurred? Okay, you shouldn't see any blurry letters on your driver's licenses, all right? It should be sharp and clear like that. Red eye photos, as bad as DMV is, they ain't taking red eye photos, all right? Usually taking the red eye photos in the back alleys there. Shine, click, big flash there, okay? Issue date and expiration dates. How many know how long California licenses are good for?
5 years.
5 years, okay? Arizona is the not normal one. They're 30, 40, 50 years, all right? But the average across the nation is anywhere to 5 to 10, all right? I have never seen a bad guy make a fake ID with the issue dates and expiration dates wrong, okay? Because they can always look at their license and they can do the same thing. How long is this license good for? That's what not people are looking for a fake ID. They're looking at their picture. They're looking at does it look like a real ID? They're looking at other information. They're not looking at that type of information, okay? So L is for look. Check out the font. When they make the old California driver's license and the new California driver's license, they have different fonts. Maybe your state is changing their font as well, okay? So this is the new one up here. Check out the A. I'm going to call this like a TPA. Looks like an Indian TP. But look at the A in the old one. Looks like a house. Sometimes the bad guys get the wrong font. If you can't remember, you're not sure, you look at yours if it's the same state and see if it's the same font. We don't catch the smart ones, we catch the idiots. All right, and there's the ones that are misspelling the words. Identification, employment, voter with an OR, okay? There was a student at the University of San Diego, he misspelled the word on purpose on the back so he knew it was his product, okay? If you see a misspelled word, you got a fake ID. And it's gonna be usually in the back, not on the front, that I'm finding it. So, look at the picture on the backgrounds. On the California ones, it's a nice blue background. It's kind of like a striated picture, like a blue jean. If you look real close at blue jeans, it's got white and blues, all right? If you get a solid color like one on the right there, you probably got a fake. Depending on your state, you look at the background. If you look at it with a magnifying glass, look at it real closely. Because you look real closely at the California one, the top two are what it should look like. This is what I'm finding on the real ones. These are some of the backgrounds on the bottom on the fake ones. All right? So look at your state, get a good magnifying glass, and look at that background. They might get the same color, but if they're not getting even little striations like that and they're doing a solid blue, you might have a fake, okay? Can you have an out-of-state address on another state's card? Can I have an Arizona address on my California ID? No. Let me say no. These states allow that. You can't do that. Okay. This might be for your snowbird people that live 5 months here, 7 months here. I don't know, it might be for military purposes, whatever. But just because they have a different state address in there does not make it fake. All right? But these are the only states that allow that right now. Okay? But when they're trying to make this fake ID, they know you want to see what you're calling a hologram. All right? When you're moving it and you're seeing something in the background type thing, it makes it look official. But if you look at it, they can buy these things on the internet. It's just a sticker that they lay over the top. All right? So they can buy these stickers and they can put keys on there, they can put globes, they can put all these different symbols because they know people want to see something that makes it look like an official type card, some hologram back there, all right? They're not actually holograms, it's actually just an overlay. Hologram is something that you look at, it's three-dimensional, like on your credit cards where you see the bird moving and the flapping of the wings type thing, that's a hologram. These are just overlays, all right? So the bad guys will do that because they can do that on the internet and that makes it look official. So the reason I bring that up is there are red flag words and red flag images you should not see on any driver's licenses or any type of IDs. The red flag words would be like genuine, secure, authentic. You start seeing that in the background. All right? You see any of those words. Red flag images, if you see a key, a lock, a scroll, or a globe, no state is using any of those things. You should not see them. So for example, on the top up there in the Florida driver's license, see you got the seal of approval up there? That's fake. Over here, you can see the word authentic. That's a red flag word. You should not see that. On this Maryland one, you see the globe and the word secure. That's fake. You shouldn't see that. Over here, I'll just put a key on it. Okay, a key looks pretty official. Not doing that. Here we got in Montana. I got the globe again. That's all they're trying to do, trying to make it look a little more scientifically, whatever you're trying to call it here. Okay, but those are all fake. You should not see the red flag words, red flag images. All right. Found this one, somebody decided to put a big old M in the middle of Maryland here. Thought that'd make it official looking. If you're not from Maryland, you wouldn't know that, right? That's fake. One state, Ohio, is the only one that is the exception to the rule now. But it's real hard to see. We go from the card here to this one. They got the word genuine authentic, but it's in a holographic microprint, all right? That means you have to catch it in the light and you have to look at it under a magnifying glass to even catch that, all right? I'll talk more about that later here. Here's microprinting. Microprinting on the card can't be seen by the naked eye, okay? 42 states are using microprint on their driver's licenses, okay? You need a magnification of at least 20 to see microprint, okay? It can't be scanned, it can't be photocopied. I'm just now hearing there's some printers out there that are able to do it out there. All right, they cost like $4,500, but before that, they couldn't do that. It's a very expensive machine to do microprint. So microprint, if you look at some of the different states, microprint right here for like this Maryland license, you see that black line run up and down? If you look at that real closely in a magnifying glass, it says Maryland DMV going up and down. It's not a black line. Texas, see this Texas outline of the buildings? If you look at that real close, you'll see words Texas DMV, Texas DMV going up and down the buildings. Okay? Florida, that box over here. This is the only place you'll find the microprint for Florida. This box right here, it's not a line. If you look at it real close, it says Florida DMV, Florida DMV. Well, here's Nebraska. On this back of Nebraska, it's got the state seal right here. Look at it real close, that's microprint. If you looked at a fake one, it'd probably just be a blur of gray in there, just matching up. Can't see without the magnifying glass. But a lot of states are using microprint, and that's a real hard security feature to duplicate. All right? Now the great thing is the book here will tell you if it has microprint, that state uses microprint or not. The problem is they won't tell you where that microprint is. All right? That's the tough part. Luckily, we're not having to look at a 3x3 poster size type thing here. We're looking at a little 2x3 card, right? And I usually tell people, if you're looking for the microprint, lines. See lines underneath the name of something or anything. Look at the lines. If you got swirling in the background, like on the California one, look at the swirls in the background. That's where you'll find microprint. So here's microprint real close. California driver's license. The microprint is right here on the very top line of DMV. This is what it looks like when you magnify it 50 times. And the letters are clear and crisp, all right? I'm seeing some of them where they're just a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? They're not as sharp, all right? So they're almost copying it to the point, but the letters should be separated and very clear, okay? And they got secondary microprint. Swirls in the background, this is microprint. It says California DMV, California DMV. So if they're almost getting close to this, they never get this one. knows you're not looking for microprint. You know what microprint is until now. Okay. Google Earth. Anybody know what Google Earth is? Yeah. So I took these fake IDs. You just Google Earth, all right? When I Google Earth 602 Cove Road, I got this. This is where she lives. Somewhere out here in the Mojave Desert or whatever. All right. Arizona guy, Ryan, he came back to a tax office. Now Google Earth will tell you right away, they're not exact on this. It's only approximate. Okay. So just because you Google Earth their address and it comes back to something like that, doesn't necessarily mean you got a fake. No. Okay. Just might get your antennas up and we just say, hey, we got to look into this a little bit harder here, because why is this address coming up in the middle of a forest? Okay. Other things. Driver's license, look at the seals, the state seals. They should be clear, sharp, stuff like that. You should be able to read them, all right? You're just not seeing something in the background that looks like a state seal. You should be able to read what's on the state seal, all right? These are some state seals close up. When I usually find state seals to be fake, they look something like this close up. It's all pixelated. This is under a microscope or a magnifying glass of 20. You'll see something like that on the fake ones, all right? On the real good ones, it should look more like this. These three are good. Believe it or not, this one is not good. Couldn't understand that. But it's, you can see how solid it is. There's no speculating like this, all right? But you can't see that with a naked eye. It looks like it's a solid color to you. The pictures. You got two different types of pictures on there. You got your main picture and you got your ghost picture, right? And there's reasons why they did that. So you just can't photocopy this and then shrink it down and put it over here. It's a little bit tougher now. They want you to look like a ghost picture. So if you got a ghost picture and a main picture and they're both the same contrast, you might have a problem here. California, I'm not sure about other states, but there should be a difference. This guy in the bottom here had a problem both ways. He went ghost picture, ghost picture. All right, that's bad. A is for ask. A lot of people don't know their driver's license number, but you can ask. This is usually for people at bars. They're real good at this. I always go, when I go to a college town, I like to go to these bouncer guys. I mean, they can tell a fake ID before they even look at it. All right? But they start asking questions here. I don't know if you got time to do that. Maybe in the midst of your conversation, you might do something like, hey, people, when they get their fake ID, they start memorizing the information on it, right? Okay, my name is John Smith. I was born on 22160. John Smith, 22160. I live at 123 Main Street, 123 Main Street. I mean, this is what they do when they walk up to the bars, right? So they got that information. They give the card to the bouncer, and he goes, okay, what's your date of birth? Oh, my date of birth is 22160. Right? Don't ask that. You go, hey, what month were you born? Oh, I was born in 2. Wait a minute, January, February. See, they don't memorize that information, okay? So you might be talking to somebody. You might see that, hey, the sign on their card says they're a zodiac. Their zodiac sign might be a Pisces, but they tell you, hey, I'm a Libra. They don't know their zodiac sign because they're using somebody else's date of birth, right? So it might be a little trick question you might be using in there. Hey, I'm a Libra too. And they go, yeah, I'm a Libra too. No, it says Pisces on your card if you don't know your zodiac sign, right? G on flag is either give it back to them or give it to the police, okay? I am not deputizing you to arrest anybody if you get a fake ID, all right? You don't want to be doing that, all right? But a lot of people ask me, what do I do if I do get a fake ID? Well, in the state of California, it's a violation of 659 of the Business Professions Code. And what that tells you can do is you can seize that card, you can give that person a receipt, you give that person a receipt, then you got to write a little report and give it to the cops within 24 hours. Are we going to get into that business? No. You're not going to be bothered with that, all right? Not even the bouncers of bars are bothering with that, all right? They're just taking that card and say, get out of here. And watch those people run. Go, give me my card back. I paid $100 for that. You want it back? I'll have Officer Friendly give it to you. Officer, here, he wants his card back. No, they're not going to stick around, okay? So what do? I tell people, I was telling this a lot to the escrow people, all right? Because I've talked to a lot of escrow associations. If you're in somebody's house and you're getting a fake ID that you really know is a fake ID, I might just continue on with it and just pretend everything's cool, all right? But you might just get yourself out of there because I'm not going to get into a physical altercation with everybody over something like that, and you don't want to get in a physical altercation. Just pretend everything's all right and just get out of there and let the bank know or somebody else know that they need to do this again. Something went wrong. Now come back to our office, a safe place for you, okay? Oh, the other thing I want to bring up is if you can, I tell people this, if you can, photocopy the ID. You're not going to be able to probably do that in their house, but if you're in an office or at a hotel or somewhere else, you can photocopy it, then give it back to them. That might be even better, okay? Because now you can get cops and say, hey, I don't know who this person was, but that's a picture of him, as opposed to you identifying somebody saying, yeah, he was 6'2", I think he had brown hair, I think this. No, here's a picture of the guy, all right? So again, there are the two books out there. This one does all the states. You got your international book as well. I don't know if you're doing international type stuff, but there's an international showing all the different IDs for all the different nations. This comes out every February, once a year. I don't think you need to get a book every year, maybe every 2 years, something like that. Every 3 years might be last you. But it's almost my Bible here. I don't know how you can do this with all the different IDs that are out there right now. So again, if you show them the book will go to the state. They'll show you the state. They'll show you the ID that's being faded out. This is the prior license. Here's the current license. It'll give you a description of the card. It'll tell you something about the number, the term that it begins. If this has microprint, does it have a UV feature? It'll tell you all the things about that card that you might want to look for. And it does that for every state. Also in the book, there's some other terms in here I want you to be aware of, okay? There is a Soundex system, there's an enhanced driver's license, there's the Real ID Act, and there's an undocumented immigrant. And that's mainly for California again. But if you know the Soundex system, this is used by Wisconsin, Florida, Maryland, and Michigan. And I bring this up because I'm seeing a lot of Florida fake IDs, okay? You know when you get a driver's license, it's got a real long number? It's almost like a social security number, okay? But it begins with the letter of their last name, okay? So start with that letter of the first name and those next 3 numbers. That's all I'm going to talk about here, okay? There might be some other significant numbers behind that. It might mean something, but I just want to deal with those first 4, okay? Soundex system is called as a phonetic algorithm. This is how it works. These 6 numbers here represent these letters. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and get a sound to that last name on their driver's license, and this is how their first 4 numbers come on their driver's license number. So it looks like this. Let's say their last name is Washington, all right? Well, the very first letter of their driver's license number is going to start with W because their last name is Washington. Now we go to the next letter, A. There is no A in our 1 through 6 choices. So we skip that letter and go to the next one. Next one is S. S is represented by the number 2. Now we go to H and I. There is no H and I, so we skip that and go on to N, which is a 5. So now we have a W, 2, 5, and the very last one is a G, which is represented by 2. Okay? So this is what you would see phonetically. Now we have their last name. Now it almost sounds like their name, Wazing. That's Washington. Okay? That should match up. If you got something else, of course, if you see something with like a Z, you know it's wrong because it's supposed to start with a W in that state. It starts with their last name. All right? But everybody knows about the W. All the bad guys know, hey, the last letter should be the first one. It's these other numbers that they don't know about. They start showing numbers like 7, 8, and 9. And you start seeing that, you go, I got a fake. So for example, these are like other names here, what it would look like. Gutierrez, G362 gives you GTRZ. Almost sounds like the last name, right? Jackson, J250. 0 is if there's no letter at all. They just fill in it with a 0. You got to put something in there. So if there's no letter or number for it, it fills in with a 0. So now we have JCN for Jackson. Here's 2 Florida driver's license. All right. On the top here, I got Kayla Rastigo, right? She's got the R for Rastigo, but then what's her next number? 700. There is no 7. It's 1 through 6 only in those first 4 numbers. That's fake. So I didn't need UV light. I didn't need a microscope. Boom, I got a fake one right there because the numbers are wrong for that state. Zachary here, he starts with R, but he's got 260. It should be R152 for Robinson. Okay, so that's a Soundex system. That's what that is. All right. Enhanced driver's license. This is basically a passport. Okay, if you see this, okay? This is where other states are bordering on other countries. They're able to use this like a passport. And all it does, it's going to have a big American flag here that says enhanced driver's license on it. Okay, so if you see that, it's not a fake. Well, it still could be a fake, but that's what enhanced driver's license looks like. The Real ID Act. When 9/11 occurred and the Department of Homeland Security came about, they tried to make sure that because of the fake ID problem there, they wanted all the states to start standardizing and have some security features on their states. All right? So they told the states, you need to upgrade your security on your driver's license. Everybody's going to do this. All right? When they do this, your state will get a gold star, be able to put a star on their driver's license when they comply with that. Okay? Not every state is complying with that right now. They're all fighting it. Nobody wants to spend the money here, okay? 23 states last I saw were in compliant of this. What's going to happen here is if you're not in compliant by a certain date, you're not going to be able to use your driver's license to get on a commercial airline anymore. You're going to have to show a passport or something, okay? So if you live in one of these states, as of 2016, you can keep using your driver's license. By 2018, you can use your driver's license. 2020, you got to be showing a passport or something else. Not only can you not get on a commercial flight, you can't go in a nuclear power plant, you can't enter a federal building, or 2 other things that you can't do. And if you notice, but California does not have a gold star yet. All right? Some states are asking for extensions and stuff like that, but hopefully they're going to get their acts together and get some more security on something. Okay? Driver's license for undocumented immigrants. Okay? This is basically for California. I can't speak for the other states, but this is what it looks like. It looks like a regular driver's license. The only difference is it says federal limits apply. And what they mean by federal limits apply is, this license is only good in California. You can't be driving in Arizona under this. You can't even use it as an ID in any other state. And other states do not have to even acknowledge this as a real ID. Only in California. Thank you very much. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed it and got some good information, okay?